All right, this lesson is on real exponents. So what we need to remember from Algebra 2 are the exponent rules. First is that anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. Whenever you have a negative power, to make that negative power positive, you just take the reciprocal of the base, and that will make the exponent positive. Any x to the a power plus x to the a power, whenever you're adding two terms with the same base, you add the exponents. Whenever you're adding two terms with the same base, whenever you're adding them, you just add the coefficients. The base stays the same and the exponents stay the same. Whenever you're multiplying two factors that have the same base, you add the exponents. When you're dividing two factors that have the same base, you're going to subtract the exponents, numerator minus the denominator. When you raise exponent to another power, you multiply the exponents. And lastly, if you have two factors or multiple factors being raised to a certain power, that's the same thing as raising each one of those factors to that power. Same is true whenever you have you're dividing one factor by another. That's the same thing as raising each one of those factors to that power. All right, first example, we've got n to the 0 power times 3n to the 0 power. All right, n to the 0 power is just 1. And so we've got 1 times 3 times 1. 3 times 1 is just 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Next, we've got 3p squared times 2p. 3 times p is 3 times 2 is 6. P squared times p is going to be p to the 3rd power. Next, first thing we want to do is raise everything inside the parentheses to the -1 power by multiplying the exponents. So m to the 3rd power raised to the -1 power is going to be m to the -3 power. N to the -1 power raised to the -1 power is going to be n to the +1 power. And then we're going to multiply -m cubed times each one of the factors in the parentheses. Negative times a positive is a negative. M cubed times m to the -3 will cause us to add those exponents. 3 plus -3 is just 0. And then there's nothing to multiply the n by, so that stays the same. Anything to the 0 power is just 1. So -1 times n to the 1st power is just going to be -n. Alright, first thing we want to do here is raise everything inside the parentheses to the 4th power, u to the 4th power, and then v to the -5th raised to the 4th power is -5 times 4, which is -20. And then we're going to multiply u to the 4th times u to the 4th, which is going to give us u to the 8th, and then v to the -20 times v, which is going to give us v to the let's just do this one at a time. So u to the 4th times u to the 4th is going to give us u to the 8th. And then v to the -20 times v to the 1st power is going to give us v to the -19th power. And we just combine those two to get u to the 8th, v to the -19th. Except you should not have any negative exponents, so we want to rewrite it. To make that exponent positive, we just take the reciprocal of the base, which is 1 over v, and that is u to the 8th power over v to the 19th power. Alright, first thing we want to do here is raise everything to the 1/2 power, so we're going to multiply all those exponents by 1/2. And then now we're going to multiply all those exponents that have a u as their base. we're going to add the exponents. To add the exponents, we first need a common denominator since they're fractions. It's going to give us u to the 10 over 8 power. And then we can simplify 10 over 8 to 5 over 4. And then v to the 5/6 over v. We're just going to subtract those exponents. That's the same thing as v to the 5/6 minus, subtract 5/6 minus 6 over 6. Let's go back. So the reason why we left it like this is because if we subtract 5/6 minus 6/6, that would give us negative 1 over 6. And again, we cannot have negative exponents, so we just leave it like this. All right, next problem, u to the 0 power is just 1. V to the 0 power is just 1. Raise everything in the denominator to the 1/4 power by multiplying all the exponents by 1/4. And we want to make that negative exponent positive by taking its reciprocal or moving it into the numerator. And then v to the 3/8 times v to the 3/8, we just add the exponents. 3/8 plus 3/8 is 6/8, which we can simplify to 3/4. So we get u to the 1/8 over v to the 3/4 power. Now we want to multiply. We want to multiply the numerator and the denominator by v to the 3/4 power, because fractional exponents are radicals, and you cannot have a radical in the denominator. So to make that exponent in the denominator a power of 1, we're going to multiply it by v to the 1/4 power. We have to do the same thing to the numerator. That'll give us u to the 1/8 times v to the 1/4 power over v. 3/4 plus 1/4 is just 4/4 or 1.